I was probably about 6 or 7 years of age, and you know, I got to the first sort of a game introduced to me by my father, and it's just a local park, 20 guys kicking the ball around and stuff like that. I still fondly remember those days. And us kids just watched the game at first. Obviously, at that age, as a kid, you want to run around, you want to kick the ball and stuff like that, rather than watch some old folks kicking the ball on the park. So obviously, we watched the game for about 5-6 minutes, and then I found friends, and off we go. But that was the start, sort of a relationship between a football and myself and the ball. So, and then from there, I just loved it every minute of it. If you were playing here in the first division, if you wanted to take your game seriously, you had to go over east. And you know, I was one of those. I remember that just before the Glory started, it was the Perth Kangaroos that played in the Singapore League. And obviously I was asked to play in that league, but I refused because I sort of refused to play for that team because I didn't believe the Singapore League was the best league to go in, but it paved the way for Glory to be formed and to have a strong case to go into the NSL. And obviously through those negotiations, obviously with Roger Lefort and previous CEO and Nick Tana and Paul Afkos and people in charge, obviously a lot of sort of conditions were put on Perth Glory, how they're going to go into the league. So obviously once we got into the league, I was playing for Heidelberg in the old NSL, and obviously I think Gary Marocchi and Roger Lefort, I believe, came and watched a couple of the games, and you know, we're forming the club. Club is already started, and you know, we're preparing ourselves for, I believe at that time was Sampdoria. Sampdoria was coming into town to play against the Glory, and yeah, I didn't play in that game, but I believe that they got Ante Milicic as a guest player, and somebody else, I can't remember who else was, but they got 2 players, I think, as a guest to play in that game for the Glory against Sampdoria. I was watching that game, and yeah, and after that it was negotiations between myself and Roger Lefort, and then we agree. I come back '96, we started, and off you go. Correct. Yes, it was negotiations over $20. Yeah, $20 was the negotiations for about close to 12 weeks. Yeah, he would not give me $20. Roger Lefort, great man, Roger Lefort. And you know what? It's somehow unknown. You start in the club, you're going into the new league, new environment, and everything else. And you know what? They're pioneers of our game. You know, nobody knew how big and how successful Glory is going to be. Obviously, they took the risk and you know, paid everybody sort of a play small part, but overall, the overall sort of a movie was great. Yeah, so we had sort of a busy bees at that time, and I still remember we done the training session, so off we go. We had a shower and everything else, and you just got a bucket and the brush, and we're thinking, what's going on? So we come out, and funny enough is the owners, families, kids, everybody was there, and everybody was doing it. So normally, because we are part of the family and that, everybody just grab a brush and off you go. And funny enough, you know, it's like from about 10 people, all of a sudden you had like 30, 40 people painting. In no time, the seats were done for the first game. And it was, you know, if you tell that story now to, say, you know, professional footballers that we have now these days, they would laugh at you and go, what the hell are you talking about? You know, but those were the times. We did it that way, and nothing else. I think we were better off for it, and we appreciated more, and we appreciated the chance that these people put their money where their mouth is, and you know, they provide the opportunity for the 20 guys from Perth to play on the national level. You know what? Even when we played throughout, you know, some of the players in that team and in that era was obviously played over East, and you know, we're talking about crowds of 4,000 or 5,000 people, no more than that. And you know, when you play South Melbourne, you get 7,000, 8,000, 10,000 people, and then you think to yourself, look, you know what? This is what it feels like to be a real footballer, going out and see the 10,000, 11,000 fans, and you really appreciate the game that you play. But you know what? When we first started at the Glory, nobody knew how big that is going to become. And I remember that even the players these days, we used to have crowd bonuses. So where I think it's after a certain amount of people, players get the cut of the takings. So say, for instance, we needed, a figure of speaking, 10,000 people to break even. And we used to get in 15, 16, 17,000 people. So that means that it's 6,000 or 7,000 paying public. The players get the cut of 25% from that. So that was sort of a clubs didn't output any money at first and taking the risk. This was like sort of a, if the people come, you get a bonus for sort of entertaining those kind of people, and from that we knew that we couldn't fail. As long as we gave 100% every single time when you're on the field, you could not fail. You can lose the game, but you could not fail as a footballer, because you give everything that you have. And we knew that from practically second game in that first year. And I still remember I think we lost. It was 4-1 to, I think, Sydney Olympic the first game. The second game, I think we lost against somebody else, but the performance wasn't there. And then I still remember we sitting in the changing room and Nick Tana coming in and sort of give us a little bit of dressing down. And yeah, from then he sort of resonate with us and say, look, okay, yeah, we just have to give 100%. We all had talent to play, and we all were good players in our own right, in our own positions and stuff like that. We just needed to understand that you have to give 100% all the time if you are to remain in that changing room of Perth Glory. Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, we played hard, we trained hard. At that first year, I think a lot of players still worked and play football, so it's sort of a part-time. But we train like full-time professionals. We train every single day. And then yes, if you're going away and you win, you're allowed to go out. And we gave every single time, I think, 150%, because we wanted first to win the game, second go out. Because we're all young, you know. It's good to go out and release everything that you have, sort of, and just being with your mates. And at that first year, I still remember that us as a group flying away, it was a new experience, and it was something that from that first moment, everybody knew in that group of players, this is what we want to do. We want to training, we want to go and play, and we want to enjoy every single moment for as long as we can. Look, maybe Gary Marocchi's sort of a philosophy was, if you score one more goal than the opposition, you obviously win the game. Maybe that's the reason why we play such attacking football. But you know what? It's over the years, when you look who played in that side, you see that there is a lot of attacking-minded players, and those are the players that were the best in the state at that time, and that's what we had. What we didn't have is the players in the positions that obviously Gary Marocchi got from Eastern States, and in those first couple of seasons, I think Gavin Wilkinson was the one of the imports. Obviously defender, then Danny Hay, and predominantly I think that we sort of struggle a little bit with the defensive players. We had plenty of attacking players and a midfield, but the defensive stocks were always sort of a little bit on the shaky grounds. We had the great goalkeepers as well. I mean, it's this state here is gifted with all the goalkeepers, and mind you, all the goalkeepers play for the Australia. You're going from Tony Franklin, even before that, Willie McNally at Adelaide City, and then you got Tony Frank, and then you got Petkovic brothers, then you got Tommy Maras, Vince Matassa, Robbie Zabika. Great goalkeeping stocks here, and we never struggled with the goalkeepers, but defensive players, I think we did, and I think later on we improved that as sort of people didn't have to go anymore from the NPL or the Division 1 from at that time to go over east to play at the highest level. Glory provided that outlet here in Perth. A blur. I didn't sort of. I remember Jamie Hunter scoring the goal, and that was, I think, to make it 1-1. And I think it was 92nd minute, I believe it was. It was practically done and dusted, and somehow the ball ricocheted. I still remember, I think it was Vas Kalogerakis right in front of me. And if I correctly remember, when the ball coming over, I knew what I wanted to do, because ball was sitting right there to be taken. But I think Vas was trying to get in front, and I clearly remember me sort of either putting my hand or something on the side of his head to move him out of the way, because I wanted to get to that ball. And then I knew it. If I just hit the frame of the goal, Petka was nowhere near. And lucky enough for us, it just went straight in, and everybody just went berserk. At first, I started running, and I didn't know where to run. And I'm going, oh, okay, go this way. So I just turned around and just run towards the crowd. And I'm going, no, you can't get to the crowd. You're gonna get yellow card, you moron. So yeah, but it was great. Last minute winners, and it's always, every goal is memorable when you score, but the goals that change the outcome of the games are more special. But so in 1992 or 3, I started playing for Floreat, and I remember I won that year most exciting footballer in WA, the award that was never before and never after presented. I didn't understand it at first. Obviously, I couldn't speak any English at that time. Not that I can speak it now anyway, but but yeah, and I still remember when they gave me that award. I remember some of the people going, speech. What are you talking about? But the goal that I scored was a scissor kick from about 18-yard box. Petka was in goals for Spearwood Dalmatina at that time, and so I'm used to winning the awards scoring against Petka. So Petka is my go-to guy. If you want to win something, just go put Petka in goals, you win it, guaranteed. But yeah, Petka is a good guy, and we had some good stories with Petka, and Petka and Damien sharing the room. One do not speak, one cannot stop. You know what I mean? It's like, and you put them together and going, oh, you just want to be a sort of a fly on the wall to see when Damien stops talking. At first, I think I shared with Paul Strudwick in the first couple of seasons, I believe, and then in that second year, I think me and Scotty, I think, because we were the local, and how me and Scotty Miller sort of introduce ourselves one to another is playing against each other, and obviously, and he, I think he booted me or tackled me or something like that, and he was, yeah, get up, you donkey. He called me a donkey, so nothing, the game still goes on, and I scored a goal and I run straight to him and said, who is the monkey now? He goes, no monkey, it's donkey, you idiot. So ever since then, we become good friends, and obviously it was just transition when we started going to away trips and stuff like that. And go, yeah, okay, you two, donkey and monkey, off you go. Yeah, all of the groups that or the teams that I've been playing with at the Glory in those early days, they're all sort of close in their own right, because we had a great culture at the club at that time. We were all sort of, a majority of us local. We all know each other from Perth. We all knew each other from at that time was the first division, or whatever it is now, it's called NPL. So we all played in that league. So we sort of played against each other, then we played for the state team at that time. And we all sort of knew each other quite well. So when Nick Turner and Paul Afkos brought us together into the Glory, with Gary Marocchi at helm, and you know, it was good to be together, and we sort of going to each other's birthdays, kids being born, and as you're growing up, that closeness still remains with some of the players as well. I think Frogger, I don't think we gave him that nickname here. He had it before he arrived here. Obviously, the size of his eyes probably played part in that. But yeah, what a character Damien is. He's great goal scorer. I think that you're never going to see another striker like that in the obviously NSL and A-League. I don't think ever is going to be born. Crucial. That's and I keep saying that to people. It's yeah, you had telepathic sort of understanding. It's nothing to do with telepathic understanding at all. Because I remember we played 2 or 3 times a week golf, and predominantly on the Friday afternoon after training session. Sort of we played Saturday 7 o'clock from my memory. Friday afternoon, so 10 o'clock in the morning is a training session. It goes for 2.5 hours, whatever we do, and then from there we go straight to Mount Lawley Golf Club, and we have 18 holes, and we talk about a game. We talk about you know, when Jason Petkovic gets the ball from the corner. Say for instance, corner is swung in, and Jason Petkovic grabs the ball. What we do? Who goes short, who goes long, where the ball is going to be released and stuff like that. And those information, then we relay to Jason before the game, just some of the instances. Also, we talk about who we're playing against, and especially 2 centre backs, who they have on the back, and what their strengths and weaknesses are. Who's going to go up for the header when the goal kicks. Who's flicking, on which side you're flicking all the time. So we knew straight away, as soon as Jason puts the ball down and he's ready to kick, we know who's going up and on which side that player will flick the ball. So that's something that you just talk about it, and just it doesn't happen automatically. You have to talk about it. Yeah, probably one of those players probably was Edgar Jr., defensive midfielder, and I can tell you now that if that guy plays now in A-League, he would be one of the great imports. What a fantastic footballer, and you know what? Just quiet achiever. He was never you know, very vocal or anything like that. He was just doing the job, and he ever did a great job for us. And especially in that position where he was sort of linking everything going forward and the defensive line. So he was a link player for us, and we knew that if Edgar plays, we could take more risks up front, because he was the guy that was just breaking everything for the opposition going forward. He was put it this way, he was everywhere but nowhere. So he was everywhere when the attack opposition attacking you because he's breaking everything down. But in the phase of our attack, as soon as he releases the ball going forward, his job is practically done. And then he just leaves us up front to run the riot. Yeah, look, you know what, it's like I said, it was unknown for us, and really to go 3-0 up at half-time, we were sort of a surprise. Is this that easy? You know what I mean? It's like you're looking at you playing and going, okay, everything that we tried, it come off. And obviously, yeah, the second half, everything that we tried didn't go our way. All three. It's the first one, obviously, being in the grand final and losing it the way we lost it in 2000. And you know, that first one, practically, I always said, and you know, that little monkey on your back was turning into gorilla. So we had to win one, and it was great to give public of WA winning grand final here at home. So that was sort of our repay faith in them, turning week in and week out to support us. More than the first one. So the first one in 2000, when we played against Wollongong, we unknown, going into the grand final, leading to the grand final, exposure to the media and stuff like that was craziness. And you know, that first one, we knew that it's going to be big. We knew that it's going to be sellout and all of that, and all of a sudden it's just like, it's just a normal game when it starts. But you know, that 2003 grand final when we beat Sydney Olympic is like, okay, now we cannot stuff up again. We've done it, I think, twice before, so we need to win these. So it's even more pressure on you to go and perform. But even there is a thing or two probably in the first 3 or 4 minutes that set that grand final up completely. And I remember feeling that I think I was chasing Ante Milicic down deep in our half, and I just tackling from the side, and it set myself first. That look, you know what, we let him know, not a chance that you're gonna get this grand final back to Sydney. And you can see that sort of a transfer straight through the team, and yeah, everybody just lifted, and it was ours from the first couple of minutes. One of the favorite moments at the Glory was not my goal that he scored, but Scotty Miller's last-ditch effort against Melbourne Knights. So we were, I think, 2-0 down, and we come back to win 3-2.
Still going, Wilkinson. Miller with a shot, and there it is! At the net! Scotty Miller has smashed the result for the Glory.
And that last goal, how he started and everything else, everything was perfect. And even to the point where he finished it, it was perfect. And it still gives me great memories when I see all of those kids behind the goal. Everybody just exploded, running everywhere, and it's great memories. But yeah, like I said, it's not my goal, but it's my teammate goal. That it's one of the most memorable goals at the Glory.